for more and more and more. We're louder than we need to be, don't you think? Yeah, we are. We're louder than we need to be. So you'll hear. You can hear all right. You don't need to hear. That's the next dimension. So, what we were talking about earlier is that with each new discovery of a new alignment, and every time the grid fills in and you have that new awareness that the grid has filled in, there is then a conscious acknowledgement of the achievement of something wanted, but there is also a new vantage point from which to launch again. So the expansion never stops happening, and that really is the new, the new, the new, the new. Now, of course, the ability to perceive it is right on the heels of that, and the more you are keeping up with what you've become, then the more satisfied or the more coming home feeling that you have. There are endless things for you to create, and there will be things that you will be creating 10 years from now that you're not even conceiving of now. And
well, that is the excitement to me, is this understanding, this knowing of this leading edge perspective, and knowing that it's endless. There's always something more. And I have the impression right now that there's a lot of stuff that is known by a lot of people, maybe not by everybody just yet, or recognized as such, and
that will be common knowledge.
That will be common knowledge at some point, and I find it very exciting.
But those on the leading edge will always be reaching beyond what the masses are now ready to accept.
Right, and that's where I'm wondering whether there's some sort of, I'm going to call it new physics. It's not new, it's just new discovery
Evolved
of
physics.
Expanded physics.
Not a new, there will not be something so startlingly new that you would call it even a new dimension.
Okay.
There is just more understanding of the vibrational basis that is you. When some speak of a paradigm shift, it is not that it has not already been discovered by many. It is that it is being allowed by more. So the basis, and therefore the opportunity for more to experience the leading edgeness, is greater. There's another piece here that we want to stick in here in response to what you were talking about. Let's see if we can get back around to it in a way that fits so that you feel the full benefit of it. As you first began, you were talking about that feeling of coming home and how a variety of processes that you applied felt like one led to another and led to another and led to another. And that certainly is the way the processes evolved. As we were presenting them, you were responding to them. But when you look back through the processes, and there have been many and there will be many more, every one of them is offered with a singular intention, offered with the understanding that life is causing you to expand, but that you have not taken your full expansion. Because step one happens without your conscious awareness of it. You just cannot be here without being exposed to life, without being exposed to contrast, and therefore without being exposed to the constant opportunity to identify within yourself a desire for something beyond what is. It is just something that was already in place before you even got here and fully in place within you. It was like the system had evolved to the place that that was going to happen whether you were consciously aware of it or not. So launching rockets all over the place. And step two is already in place too, because we were fully aware of your vortex, of your expansion, and riding the rockets of those new desires continually. But the part that was missing for most of you was discovering a deliberate, conscious, easy to offer way of being in alignment with what you were asking for. So every process has been about helping you to find vibrational alignment in order to allow. And if you want to have some fun, go back through some of the processes that you've learned before, like the focus wheel, or even pivoting, or any number of them, and notice how they were also all pointed at going general. Every one of them helped you to become more general in order to do more allowing. So you might say that we just keep talking about the same thing over and over again as you continue to discover new ways of applying it to whatever you're living now. So the question that you may be asking is, will we ever reach a place where the law of attraction that we've heard about and our understanding that we are vibrational beings, which we are getting, and now our understanding of our relationship between who we are allowing ourselves to be in this moment and who we really are, will there be some big piece of understanding beyond that? And the answer to that is no. Once you come into that conscious awareness, then all of your attention will be upon defining what you specifically want and deliberately aligning with it. In other words, it's taken all of this conversation just to get you to the point that you were at when you were born.
There's hope.
You always went back and forth. So what happened that took you back from that? Well, the first thing that happened is you lost track of your guidance because you thought your mother was your guide. You lost track of your own gut instinct because you listened to your coach or to your teacher or to some other mentor or to your peers. You let something outside of you be a more important influence. So you began to strive to serve other masters rather than to feel the alignment of who you really are. So that's not a new dimension. That's just understanding where you are within this one, you see. A better application of the tools with which you were born. And by that tool, we mean your mind, which is your ability to focus, and your solar plexus, which is your ability to sense emotion. In the same way that your eyes are the tool with which you translate vibration to see, and your ears are the tool with which you translate vibration to hear, your solar plexus are the tool with which you translate vibration to feel emotion and to sense your relationship with what you want, you see. Through the eyes of Source. If we were standing in your physical shoes, we'd be doing more making peace with where we are than we would be reaching for. Because when you try to make too big of a jump, you don't make it. Where when you make peace with where you are, you always turn downstream. But you're afraid to make peace with where you are because you think if you make peace with where you are, you'll be stuck right where you are. And there are a lot of people in relationships or in physical conditions that they don't want to make peace with it because they think that's like the universe will say, oh, well, she's made peace with it, so let her continue to be fat.
I think you hit the nail on the head
We
right
think
there.
so too. And that's, and that's why you use the word like worth it. In other words, you're sort of trying to pay a price for it. And what we want you to understand is, you got to understand, you've been living life and you've put what you want, including the physical body that you want, over there in your vibrational escrow. And it's there and waiting for you. And there's something that you're doing on a really consistent basis that is keeping you from easily moving toward it. And we think what it is in most cases with most people, and it certainly is true here, you're trying to make too big of a jump because you're so sure the strongest vibration that we can feel from you on this subject is, I don't like where I am. So when the universe shines its law of attraction on you, as it applies the law of gravity and law of attraction to you, what it's amplifying is how you feel, how you feel, how you feel, how you feel, how you feel. And that's why things don't change very fast. Do you know that what you're living is the indicator of your vibration, period? You don't go to the gas station with your gas gauge on empty and just lay your head on the steering wheel and sob. It's over. Look what I've come to. And you do something about it. You just fill up your tank, you see. It's an indicator, and every manifestation is an indicator. And so to get a different indicator, it's an indicator of what? It's an indicator of vibration. So when you shift vibration, you'll get a different indicator. All manifestation is just an indicator of vibration. But you all, and not just you, almost all of you, you take the reality that exists and you make it so meaningless. beautiful. You take too many pictures of it. You make too many monuments about it. You make the reality too real. And you hold yourself in the reality when we want to say reality doesn't mean diddly squat. It's just the current indicator of the summation of your vibration, but it's so in flux. It's so morphing. It's so changing, amending, evolving, becoming. It doesn't mean anything. Where you are doesn't matter. It's sort of like if you were in the old days in the dark room developing your film, and at first it doesn't look anything like you want it to, and then it becomes and becomes and becomes and becomes and becomes and becomes right before your eyes. Where that's what's happening with you. You're becoming and becoming and becoming and becoming and becoming and becoming right before your eyes. That you got to be all right with where you are now in the process of becoming. And the thing that keeps you from moving in the direction of what you want is your distaste about where you are. It's your condemnation about where you are. It's your regret about where you are. It's your unworthiness about who you are. It's a general consensus of displeasure about my now that won't let you move to a better place, you see. So you just got to make peace, make peace, make peace, make peace, make peace, not just with your physical body. Your physical body is just an indicator of how you feel about a whole lot of things. You got to make peace with where you are in relationships and in terms of money and in terms of, you got to make peace with where you are. You've got to stop warring with who you are. So much of the world has shown its displeasure at so much of the world. You all run around defensive. You're more worried about what somebody else is thinking about you than you are about how you feel in any moment in time. You got to get over that. It's got to matter to you how you feel about this and that and this and that and this and that. And so making peace with where you are, oh, it is so delicious to begin making peace with where you are. I am where I am, not this is who I am, or this is the label that somebody has given me, or this is the body condition that I've come to. You are a vibrational being. A vibrational being. Would you ever go to your radio and cuss it out because it plays that same damn song over and over and over again? You've been stuck on that station for as long as I've known you. You wouldn't. You just change the dial. In other words, it's so simple to just change the frequency and get something different. And yet, so many of you are frustrated because it's like you've got your dial super glued right where it is. And you're sort of riding in discontent about what's happening when you can change the dial. You can. So it always sounds like when we have a conversation with someone who is bold enough to state an issue that they're dealing with, it always sounds like we want you to make peace with that. It's not just that. We want you to make peace with everything that's happening in your life in an attitude of, I am where I am and I'm doing pretty darn good and I'm pleased with how far I've come and I'm doing better and it's getting clearer and I know more today than I did yesterday, and now I know I am an eternal being in a way I didn't know before, and I have this clear picture that I am a source energy, and now I understand this stream that I'm being called toward. I now understand my emotions completely in ways I've never known before. I now can quantify every journey because I can tell which way is moving toward improvement